Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do the Louisa May Alcott tag. I was tagged by Kelly from Kelly Reads a Lot. I kind of went a little overboard with book recommendations, but a lot of these prompts, I just had some good recommendations that people don't talk about, so we're gonna just do this. So, number 1, name another book with sisters who are close but have unique personalities. Oh, this one is for Little Women. And I do have a few for this. First I have a middle grade series, the All of a Kind Family series by Sydney Taylor. This is actually perfect for May because it's Jewish Heritage Month. And these books are about 5 sisters who live... okay, was that an earthquake? I'm pretty sure I just felt that table shake. Okay, I'm a little freaked out now here. Let's just keep going. We have earthquakes in California. It is what it is. Very small one. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. This is about 5 sisters who live on the Lower East Side, New York City, and they are 2 years apart. The oldest is 12, the youngest is 4, and their mischief and adventures, and the entire series covers different Jewish holidays, and it's really interesting. I enjoy them. I recently, well, a couple years ago, I reread them for middle grade March. So yeah, the first one is called All of a Kind Family, and we go from there. So yeah, they're great. Then we have The Sisters of Seaview by Julie Clausen. I mean, everyone knows about these books, so I'm not going to waste your time going into descriptions, but here's one that people don't talk about much. The Christmas Sisters by Sarah Morgan. This one takes place in Scotland. So we have Suzanne McBride is dreaming of the perfect cozy Christmas. Her 3 adopted daughters are coming home for the holidays, and she can't wait to see them. But tensions are running high. So yeah, there's like different issues. Hannah's a workaholic who wants to try to avoid her family, but she can't because she's ditched Christmas in 2 years. Stay-at-home mom Beth is having a personal crisis. She's kind of feeling guilty about wanting to go back to work. And then Posey is the youngest one and kind of stays home, and her parents depend on her to, you know, be the one who never leaves, and she wants to have adventures. So yeah, it's about 3 sisters who are very different. So that's that prompt. Number 2, 8 Cousins. Can you think of another book where someone steps in to be a father figure? So this one I had the hardest time with. Have you noticed there's just not a lot of good father books? Like, we're coming up on Father's Day in June, and, like, I can never find, like, good emotional stories where dads are, like, at the center of it. Unless it's a romance, and then, like, the solution to the dad winning custody is getting married, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for some sap, but can't the dad be the hero without a woman coming to help him parent? Anyway, but I did find a couple. We have Head in the Clouds by Karen Widmeyer. I heard about this one from Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, and recently, I think Book Lover Amanda just read it. So we have Adelaide is a woman with her head in the clouds. She's husband hunting. She's trying to find a husband. And it doesn't work out for her. And then she interviews for a maid, like a governess job, at a sheep farm with British guy Gideon Westcott. He has an adopted little girl named Isabella, and he is like the best adopted dad ever. Like, I don't really care about the romance so much. I just want to watch him, like, dote on his 5-year-old and call her Bella Mine. Like, honestly, I would have liked this book even if Adelaide wasn't a thing. I don't need the romance. I just want to watch him, like, spoil this kid rotten. It is amazing. So, yeah. And then We have the Three Pines Inspector Armand Gamache series. This one is, I mean, I enjoy the series, but I wouldn't call it Christian fiction. There's definitely a lot of swearing, but Armand Gamache is, like, kind of a police officer. It's in Canada. And he solves mysteries. I think Louise Penny's on book 2021 or something. I've been rereading them lately. He does, like, become a father figure to, like, everybody on his team. So I had to count that. But yeah, there is a lot of swearing in these books. And then we have The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. Oof. I heard about this one from Lindsay the Little Library. Like, eesh. Prepare yourself. Like, you need 2 boxes of Kleenex for this book. But basically we have Beckett, what's the girl name? Ella. And Ella. So they become pen pals. Beckett's off to war, and Ella's brother asks, no, how did they become pen pals? I can't remember. Yeah, no. She doesn't know they know each other. That's the point. Somehow she ends up pen pals with Beckett. And Beckett is Ella's brother's best friend. And Ella's brother asks Beckett to look after them if he dies. He does die. And so Beckett comes to take care of her and her twins. Only she's too proud, so he has to pretend to be like a friend, and he can't tell her that he was the one, like, being her pen pal, because basically after the brother died, he just got depressed and stopped writing to her. So now he can't tell her, hey, I was the pen pal who abandoned you, and now I'm back because your brother told me to take care of you. So it's kind of a deception, which is kind of enraging, but he's a really good father figure for her twins. And oof, yeah, it is. This one's a rough read, but yeah, father figure. So, yeah. Then we have Lasagna Means I Love You by Kate O'Shaughnessy. This one is about, I heard about this one from Krista from Books and Jams. So this is about 11-year-old Mo. Her grandmother died, and her uncle is a monster who's just like, the world revolved around my drug addict sister, and I'm not going to take care of her kid because I want a life of my own. So, sorry, Mo, but you're going into foster care. And while at the social worker's office, she finds this book of recipes, and she knows it's like a family heirloom, so she wants to make her own recipe book with family recipes. And yeah, her grandmother tells her to get a hobby, and that's what she decides to be her hobby, finding other people's family recipes. And there is a lot of found family in this book, and a really great father figure. So yeah, great middle grade. Number 3, Under the Lilacs, your favorite found family story. This is where I went insane, which is why this video is so long with book recs, because found family is my favorite trope. So first we have Any Other Family by Eleanor Brown. I heard about this from Sarah's Bookshelves Live. So basically it's about these 4 kids. Their mother, Brianna, is a teenager, and she just keeps having children and having children. And her mother was raising them, and then suddenly grandma dies. And what's going to happen to those kids? Because Brianna is, I think she was like 20 when the grandma died. And so she had a 5-year-old and twins at the time. And no one felt like they could take them all. So we have them all split between different families, but they all like make a pact to kind of keep the kids together. I'll just read the description. They look just like any other family, but they aren't a family like any other, not quite. Instead, there are 3 sets of parents who adopted 4 biological siblings, committing to keeping the children connected after the death of their grandmother. Tabitha, who adopted the twins, is the planner of the group, responsible for coordinating playdates and birthdays and Sunday night dinners, insistent that everything happens just so. Quiet and steady Ginger, single mother to the eldest daughter, resists the forced togetherness, her own unsettled childhood leaving her wary of trusting too much. So she's the kindergarten teacher. She was the oldest kid's kindergarten teacher, and the oldest kid asked her to adopt her after grandma died. So that's how that happened. Anyway, and then we have Elizabeth is still reeling from going directly from a failed fertility treatment into adopting a newborn baby. Terrified that her unhappiness means she was not meant to be a mother at all. So, because she was still like going through the hormones of like in vitro when Brianna had her last baby. Basically, yeah. This woman just keeps having children. Her mother dies, and she has 3 kids already, so 2 sets of parents for the twins and her oldest kid. I already forgot her name. And then, like, 5 years later, she has another baby, and then we have this third couple who adopts this baby and becomes part of the family. So then, you know, they're on summer vacation together, and Brianna announces, "I'm pregnant again, guys. Isn't that great? We need to find another family." And yeah, that's kind of where that goes. It's a fascinating story. I don't think there's really that much. I don't think there's any swearing, so yeah. Then we have Planet Earth is Blue by Nicole I cannot pronounce his last name. I heard about this one from Book Lover Amanda. She didn't like it that much because she said the ending got spoiled for her, but I love this book. It's about 12-year-old Nova is eagerly awaiting the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Nova and her big sister Bridget share a love of astronomy and the space program. They plan to watch the launch together, but Bridget has disappeared and Nova is in a new foster home. While foster families and teachers dismiss Nova as severely autistic and nonverbal, Bridget understands how intelligent and special Nova is, and all that she can express. As the liftoff draws closer, Nova's new foster family and teachers begin to see her potential, and for the first time she is making friends without Bridget. But every day she's counting down to the launch, and to the moment when she'll see Bridget again. Because Bridget said, "No matter what, I'll be there. I promise." This book's gonna make you cry. So, I mean, I guess you have found family and a sister story. Then we have Forever a Long, Long Time by Kayla Carter. I heard about this one from Krista from Books and Jams and Chantel Reads All Day. This is an adoption story. It's a messy adoption story. So we have Flora and her brother Julian don't believe they were born. They've lived in so many foster homes, they can't remember where they came from. And even now that they've been adopted, Flora still struggles to believe in forever. So, along with their new mother, Flora and Julian begin a journey to go back and discover their past, for only then can they really begin to build their future. The description fails to mention that there is also a dad in the picture. This woman marries a guy with a kid already, and so there's like a stepkid involved and these 2 kids and an ex-wife who is upset because like the foster kids are like, I think Flora got upset and shoved the stepsister or something. And it's so many like complicated family dynamics. Like, yeah. It's messy, but it's a really good read. Then we have The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett by Annie Lyons. I know I have a lot of books, but come on, you like books, right? So we have Eudora Honeysett is done with this noisy, moronic world. All of it. She has witnessed the indignities and suffering of old age and has lived a full life. At 85, she isn't going to leave things to chance. Her end will be on her terms. With one call to a clinic in Switzerland, a plan is set in motion. Then she meets 10-year-old Rose, I cannot pronounce his last name, Truidney? Whatever. A whirling, pint-sized rainbow of color and sparkling cheer. All Eudora wants is to be left alone to set her affairs in order. Instead, she finds herself embarking on a series of adventures with the irrepressible Rose and their affable neighbor, the recently widowed Stanley. Afternoon tea, shopping sprees, trips to the beach, birthday celebrations, pizza parties. While the trio of unlikely BFFs grow closer and anxiously await the arrival of Rose's new baby sister, Eudora is reminded of her own childhood and losing her father during World War II and the devastating impact it had on her entire family. In reflecting on her past, Eudora realizes she must come to terms with what lies ahead. But now that her joy for life has been rekindled, how can she possibly say goodbye? I mean, yeah. Another crying book. I seem to be giving you all the sad books, but I mean, they work. Here's a better one. The Secret Book and Scone Society series by Ellery Adams. I heard about this one from Lizzie Faye Loves Books. Miracle Springs, North Carolina. And we have Miracle Books, where over a freshly baked comfort scone from the Gingerbread House Bakery, they exchange their stories with owner Nora Pennington in return for a carefully chosen book. That's Nora's special talent, prescribing the perfect novel to ease a person's deepest pain and lighten their heaviest burden. When a visiting businessman reaches out to Nora for guidance, she knows exactly which novels will help. But before they make their appointment, he's murdered. And then Nora forms the Secret Book and Scone Society with other people who are interested in helping her solve the case. To join the society, members must divulge their darkest secrets, the terrible truth that brought each of them to Miracle Springs in the first place. So, yeah, it's like found family because of all of these people that form the society. Then we have For the Love of Summer by Susan Mallory. I heard about this one from Chloe from Always Booked. I read this one a couple years ago. It was really good. It's about Erica. She is the owner of Twisted, a hair salon in Seattle. Her daughter is kind of scornful about her business because it's not serious enough. Like, she does hair. She doesn't see her as, yeah. So she's very drawn to her other family, especially to her stepmom, Allison. All it takes to blow up Allison's happy life is one collect call from prison. Her beloved husband, Peter, has been arrested, leaving Allison pregnant, broke, scared, and alone with a toddler. But when her stepdaughter ferrets out the truth, the teen rushes to the last person Allison wants to ask for help, her husband's battle axe ex. So yeah, basically it's like these women coming together against this guy and like just becoming family because Summer loves the stepmom and Erica wants to get into Summer's good books. So yeah, there's that. And then we have the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. I had to include that. I'm not going to go in the description. Most of you have read it. And if you haven't, you're living under a rock. Next prompt. That was long, I know. Number 4, The Inheritance, a book that the author wrote when they were very young, or a debut novel. So I actually had a hard time with this at first, but I found a few. First one is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I think you know about this one, right? Elizabeth Zott is a chemist. And she's, honestly, I think she's on the spectrum. It takes place in the 60s. And she, gets fired or for some reason or quits. And she's a single mother. And she ends up starting like this cooking show. And yeah, her unusual approach to cooking, combine 1 tablespoon of acetic acid with a pinch of sodium chloride, proves revolutionary. You know, because she's not treating women like morons. And she's bringing science into her chemistry. There's also a love story in there too. She has a daughter. It's a good read. But if you want a book where you like men, this isn't the book for you. Then we have A Promise to My Sister by S.E. Rutledge. I read this one last year. I loved it. This one could be a sister story too. It's about two sisters. One of them is older, one of them is little, and they end up in Auschwitz, and she promises to keep her sister alive. And basically this whole book is about trying to keep this little girl hidden because, you know, they don't keep the children together. So the entire time when you're reading this book, you're waiting to see if she gets discovered. Oh yeah, 21-year-old Hodea clings to her mama and papa, her little sister Bela's arms around her waist. But when Hodea is sent one way and her parents the other, a plea to keep her sister safe is the last thing in her mother's eyes. Hodea makes a silent promise in return. But Auschwitz is no place for a little girl, and keeping Bela safe takes every ounce of Hodea's strength. She hates watching the spark in her little sister's eyes dull, and as she hands over her daily rations of watery soup and stale bread to keep Bela fed, she feels herself weakening by the second. But she vows to find a way out, even if it means sacrificing the young woman she once was. So, yeah, this one's a hard one. And then we have another kind of family book. It's called All They Ask Is Everything by Hadley Leggett. Another Chloe book. Yeah. In this hopeful debut about the silent struggle of motherhood, three very different women want custody of the same two little girls, and learn they have more in common than the children they're fighting for. Determined to be a better mother than her own, Hannah has devoted her life to her daughters. She ignores her increasing exhaustion and isolation as a widowed mom until a disastrous mistake lands the girls in foster care. Julie is single and lonely and dreams of being a mother. After infertility issues lead to her foster parenting, she falls head over heels for Hannah's daughters. The more she bonds with these sweet, precocious girls, the more she worries about their previous home life and becomes intent on finding a way to keep them. Recently forced into retirement, Elaine is devastated by the way her daughter, Hannah, has shut her out. When she discovers her granddaughters are in foster care, she resolves to rescue them from the system, her one chance at a parenting do-over. So, yeah. Who should get them? Who shouldn't? Number 5. A Long Fatal Love Chase. A favorite suspense book. I've got a couple. Not as long as my other list. So we have One Last Child by Annie Taylor. This is a series, but ignore the rest. Only the first one is good. The second one was okay, and they never continued it. But we have 5 long missing children are about to be returned. It was summer in the mountains when 5 small children vanished from their nursery school picnic. The heat was stifling that day, the tinkle of an ice cream van in the air. 3.5 years later, in the dead of winter, the children are returned to their families one by one. All except for Ivy, the granddaughter of homicide detective Kate Wakeland. The other 4 children say Ivy is dead. Speculation grows that the mysterious abductor is enacting a cruel revenge plot due to a murderer that Kate put in jail years before. Kate isn't sure what to believe, but one thing is certain: she's about to begin the battle of her life. When the children were first stolen, she was prevented from investigating the case. But now Kate will be relentless in uncovering the identity of the abductor and discovering what happened to Ivy. So, yeah, there's that. Then we have Fragile Designs by Colin Coble. I heard about this one from book lover Amanda. I love this one. Family secrets can be the most dangerous of all. When Carly Tucker's police officer husband is killed during a home break-in, she knows that her side hustle finding the antique treasures at flea markets isn't enough to support her and their infant son Noah. So her grandmother's proposal to have her and her 2 sisters restore the family's waterfront Beaufort home into a bed and breakfast that Carly will run is immediately intriguing. But it's equally daunting with the animosity that exists between the 3 sisters. What Carly's never expected as she begins to go through the attic was to find a letter in a trunk written in her husband's handwriting, dated 2 days before his death. Erica has discovered that Carly's grandmother was adopted, a fact Carly is certain Graham was not aware of, and had already begun trying to track down her birth family. Is it possible that death wasn't random at all. With few options, Carly reaches out to Graham's neighbor Simon and the older brother of her high school sweetheart, who is a local homicide detective. One of the items in the trunk is an enameled egg, but it turns out to be a Fabergé egg. The value could set up Carly for life and would certainly be worth killing for. So, yeah, there's that. And that's all I got for suspense. Number 6 and 7, we're done here pretty much. A book that you feel is a little preachy. Jack and Jill. A book that you feel is a little preachy. I picked A Million Little Choices by Tamara Alexander. Oof. I heard about this one from a lot of people. Anne from In Search of Wonder, Lou from Christian Faith and Fiction, and Miriam Elizabeth reads. Most of them liked it. I despised it. So I'm going to read the description and then I'm going to tell you what Sometimes secrets just won't stay hidden. So we have two different women from two different centuries living in the same house who share strikingly similar journeys. Deceptive description here. Claire Powell's life is turned upside down when her beloved husband admits to a near affair. But when Stephen accepts a partnership to an Atlanta law firm without consulting her and buys a historic Southern home, sight unseen, it pushes their already fractured marriage to the breaking point. Claire's world spirals, and she soon finds herself in a marriage she no longer wants, in a house she never asked for. In 1861, Charlotte Thursman, pregnant and trapped in a marriage to an abusive husband, struggles to protect her unborn child and the enslaved members of her household. Desperate, she's determined to right the evils her husband and others like him commit. But how can one woman put an end to such injustice, especially if her husband makes good on his threat to kill her? Both Claire and Charlotte discover truths about themselves they never realized, along with secrets long hidden that hold the power to bring God's restoration, if only they would choose to let it. So, yeah, this book just felt really deceptive because she's saying that they're on similar journeys, and you've got one who's got a monster husband and the other one who's got a cheating husband, and my impression was that reading about this other woman from the 1800s would make her, I don't know, leave the guy because he sucks. But no, we spent the entire book listening to people tell her that she should stay with him, and her reading Bible verses about why she should stay with him. And I'm like, okay, the guy pretty much admitted to cheating on you, or almost doing it, and that is the one ground for divorce if you're going strictly biblical. And everybody was judging her for wanting to leave this guy, and I'm just like, can we just let this girl vent, talk about her feelings, and I don't know, support her instead of telling her she should stay with him because he sucks? And just when I was starting to get around to liking him just a little, he was doing enough, a little bit of groveling, the way that things worked out with them, I just was enraged by it. I hated this book because I wasn't rooting for the couple, and everybody around her was just making her feel bad for wanting out, including her own kid. I hated this book. And then we have number 7, An Old-Fashioned Girl, a book where a character has high morals and can't be shaken by others. Honestly, I think the Little House books, because Ma and Mary are so annoying, and moralistic, that could work for preachy too. But yeah, they're just little girls mustn't be selfish, and Mary's always the good one, and it's really annoying. So yeah, I didn't like them. Well, I could deal with Ma. Ma's like the mom, I guess. So, you know, you kind of have to be annoyingly good and sweet, I guess, in that time. But Mary was just like, and she admits it in the later books that she was just trying to show off by being so good. Like, I know this is kind of a bad quality on me, but I can't stand books with kids that are too good. I need you to be a bit naughty, or you're annoying. Like, you have no personality if you just do what you're told. Sorry, not sorry. Well, I'm going to do a video about my toxic book opinions, and that's probably one of them. I don't know. Let me know if you're interested in that. But, yeah, those are all the books. Sorry this is so long, but you like book recs, right? So, yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm not going to tag anyone. If anyone wants to do this, it's fun. See you guys. Bye.
Stop recording video.